dad, and then we do the teacher in Danisco.
Right.
I could go to the last question, which is the dinner question. I think it's better to wait to have it sort of come back to the beginning. I think,
Okay.
it's like we do the beginning, talk about that. Now we come to the end of the interview and we do this. But there is a certain logic as well to go right after. So, if you're going to have dinner, but I'm not sure it has as much meaning. I think it has more meaning if we do it at the end, but I'll leave it up to you because, it's your interview.
Yeah. Okay. I'm ready to go.
Okay. So we're going to go with the order that we have and we'll see how it is. I notice it's 4:00 right now on the nose. I'm going to wait till it's 4:01 on this so that I have every minute that goes, I'll know where we are. Right now it is.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Today we have Tony Radesca, and very happy to see you, Tony. How you doing?
Good. Good to see you, Neil. It's been a long time.
I know. It's very
Can't
nice.
believe we've been out of school that long.
Yeah, about 10, 15 years already.
Yeah. It only feels that. It doesn't feel, 50 plus.
Yeah, it's amazing. So, after talking with you for a while, it became very clear to me that your father was so important. What were some of the lessons that you learned from him?
Well, first off, my dad was my hero. There was nobody like him. Dad taught me a lot of responsibility is important. Give 110% every time you do anything. Dad always told me, my first job, when I got into the phone company, he made one important, I guess, just information that told me that remember one thing, you give 110%. And it was ironic. His comment was always, remember, you need them, they don't need you. So that really stuck in my head. So a lot of the things my dad told me was to treat people the way you want to be treated. I was amazed at the amount of people and friends my dad had through life. I never, ever heard him talk bad about anybody, and I never, ever heard anybody talk bad about my dad.
Oh, that's beautiful. That really is beautiful. So now we come to Gorton High School, and we have a number of teachers. Anyone in particular stand out for you?
Yeah, Mr. Danisco.
Science.
Yeah, he was special. Mr. Danisco always, to me anyway, always made sure that you understood what he was doing in science, And what I liked about him was that if you didn't understand it, he kind of could tell just by looking at your expression on your face. And he took the time to, make it clarify it. And that's what I really liked about Mr. Danisco was it wasn't just, this is it, and let's go on to the next thing. If you didn't understand something, he did take time individually to help you out and make you understand. And I really appreciated that. And that helped me through life, even raising my children. It's easy to say no to a child. It's better when you say no, and this is why. And that's the way I try to do things with my kids when I was growing up, when they were growing up also. But Mr. Danisco is special. Ironically, I'll make it real quick. Went to Dad's barbershop, and who was sitting in the chair but Mr. Danisco? Never knew that my dad cut his hair, and Mr. Danisco says, "Hey, Anthony, how you doing?" My dad looks at me and says, Mr. Danisco, he's my science teacher. And then the rest was history. So
Nice.
That was kind of interesting.
It adds, having that connection is even better.
Better, yeah.
You already liked him. And
yeah, then I know I was really in trouble because they knew each other. So I really had to behave.
A couple of years after you graduate, you start working at the phone company.
Correct.
What did you start at, and how'd your sort of experience continue on?
I was very fortunate. I took a test, and I was working with Dad. Growing up, he taught me how to use my hands and tools and understood things. So when I went to take the interview and take the test, a lot had to do with tools and things like that. And the interview, they hired me on the spot. and said to me, when can you start? And I'll never forget it. It was on a Wednesday. And I said, I can start tomorrow. They said, how about Monday morning? And that's how I ended up going. 1969, I was working for the New York Telephone Company.
And how did that develop? You started off as a technician?
Right. I started off as an installation repair technician.
And you ended up, if I'm not mistaken, you ended up as manager.
Manager. Yes, I did.
How did that happen? How did that sort of develop, that you sort of moved up in the ranks like that?
Well, again, learning installation and repair and then galvo cable maintenance and that kind of stuff. And I always wanted to improve myself. You always look at the future, what the future would be as an I&R tech if I stayed that way or got into management. Management, there was a lot of perks, going forward with your pension and making yourself better through the years. It was kind of tough in the beginning because I was a union person, and then all of a sudden I'm not a union person anymore.
Yeah.
So it was a little tough in the beginning, and I tried to respect the union as much as I could. And there was good days and bad days, but I'd say mostly good days.
Yeah, I'm sure that your fellow workers, once you went into management, they recognized that, you were in management, but still cared about them and tried to make it fair.
I really did. And like I said, there were tough times, but mostly good times. And at the end, made a lot of friends, and it was 25 years of experience that I'll never forget.
So now it's 1994. You retire. Chris is still working. Chris, your lovely wife, is still working. And a year later, she retires, and you guys move to Florida.
Right. I came down to Florida and worked for Westinghouse for a while as a manager and doing alarm systems in homes and stuff like that. And then we went to a gathering of friends of ours, and an individual, he was a vice president of MCI at the time, asked me if I would be interested in hopping over to MCI. So he made me an offer I couldn't refuse, and I started there. And then they went and built a competitive local exchange carrier, another phone company, and then asked me to come along and became an engineer, and then worked myself up to director of engineering for the state of Florida.
Now, when you were the director of engineering for the state, I know that you sort of helped people who worked under you. And
yes.
You helped their careers as well.
I did. You always find that special person that wants to do above and beyond. And I was able to do that with several individuals who, I guess through my guidance and their guidance with me, I mean, they're out in the field, they see things that I don't see, and I respected their opinions, they respected mine. And I kind of guided them certain ways to go. And it really felt good because eventually we got them promoted and they had their own organization. And the rest was history. And I really felt confident in it.
That's really great. Now, there's a whole different side of what's going on, because about 1974, you have your first daughter and you have 4 kids, and the oldest is 47.
Yeah.
We're only 47. How is that possible? So tell us about your 4 kids, because you're very proud of them, rightfully so.
I am. Tony Ann is my oldest. She's a school teacher in Virginia. And a matter of fact, I'll be seeing her in a couple of weeks. We're going up to visit them. My son, Vincent, who I named after my father, he has his own construction company and doing very well in Pennsylvania.
Nice.
Then I have my middle daughter, Gina Marie, who also lives in Pennsylvania, and she started out as a special ed teacher with special children. I give her a lot of credit. She's just a special person herself. Nice. And she's doing very well. And my youngest, she's a manager in a big bus company, does IT and handles the whole office there, doing a great job. And she's down here in Orlando.
And I know that you have a granddaughter who's 25 years old and a grandson who's 15 months old.
That's
quite
right.
the range.
Big space in between there. So
it adds a lot of joy to your life.
All right. We're actually going to be leaving Thursday to see it. I can't wait to see him because he's been growing up in front of us. We haven't gotten a chance to go up there because of COVID. So we're making
Right.
that trip.
That's going to be beautiful. So how are you different now than you were when, we all knew you in school?
I think in high school, I was, I guess, very impulsive. Did things without thinking. And through the years of growing up and being around more mature and adults and listening and their guidance, realize that you gotta think twice before you open your mouth. And I think I've done that as I gotten older. Look for the good in people. Everybody has goodness in them. Forget about the bad part of it. We all have our moments. So life is too short. And what you want to do is you want to be upbeat and, smile at people as much as you can and enjoy their company. And that's the kind of way I live my life as much as possible. And
It seems like,
okay.
When you describe yourself, what words would you use to describe yourself? Because it seems
Now?
like you're sort of talking about it now.
Now, wow, old. Understandable. I think I understand people better than I did younger times. Let people. We all have opinions. It doesn't make it right, and it doesn't make it wrong. That's why they call it an opinion. And I respect people's opinions, whether I disagree with them or not. And I think the people I've been around in my lifetime are pretty much the same way. I think everybody has an open mind, and we're not all going to agree. Otherwise, life would be very boring if we all agreed on the same thing, I think.
Now, for a last question, if you were going to have dinner with some people, who would you pick?
Joe DiMaggio. He was my hero in baseball. Of course, my dad. Again, he was my first and real hero. Dad was in World War II, saw a lot of terrible things, and he said to me he had a fantastic life. I was very fortunate to have him as long as I did. He was 96 when he passed. He was going to be 97. And he said he lived a good life, except for the 4 years he was in the military. He said he saw things that no human being should ever see.
Sure.
But a gentle, kind man to everybody. And I'm hoping to, before he passed, about 2 or 3 weeks before he passed, and we're very religious. And he says, geez, Anthony, I had a dream about an angel. An angel came to me and talked to me about this and that. And she told me, you're going to live to be a healthy 92 years old. So I kind of kidded him. I said, well, wait a minute, you're 96. I'm getting cut 4 years short already. And he says, so live a good life and remember what I taught you. So I've been trying to do that.
You know what, Tony? I feel pretty confident that your dad would be very proud of the man that you've become.
Thank you.
It really is a delight listening to you and hearing your story. So thank you so much. This was really great.
Thank you, Neil. I really appreciate it. And it's good to see you. You haven't changed a bit. And I've been watching the other videos, and it's interesting to see people, how we've all changed and matured. And this was really fun. I really appreciate it.
I hope we all get to see each other at the reunion in June of 22.